to Maths with Mrs. J. We're now at the point where we're ready to do some slightly more exciting types of equations. In particular, what I want to focus on in this video is equations involving fractions. Now, these are actually deceptively easy to do. What you need to do in a situation like this is have a look at any denominators that you've got, work out what the lowest common multiple would be. It doesn't even have to be the lowest common multiple. It could be anything that they divide into evenly, but obviously you're making your life easier the smaller the number is, and multiply every single term by that number. If we're looking at example 1, we've got denominators of 2 and 5, and then there's no denominator there. If I multiply every term by 10, I can guarantee myself that I will no longer be dealing with any fractions, because what will happen is 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 10 5 times, 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 10 twice. Then we're at the point where we can actually just work with it without any fractions, any denominators. So we've got 5 times x is 5x, 2 times 3x is 6x, so plus 6x equals 110. So we've got 5x's and 6x's, which is 11x's, and that's 110. We want to get the x on its own, so we're going to divide by 11. So x is going to be 10. We can do a little check. Good idea in the harder questions to make sure you haven't accidentally made a mistake. So our left-hand side is going to be 10 divided by 2 plus 3 times 10 on 5. Okay, well 10 on 2 is 5, 3 times 10 is 30, divided by 5 is 6. Yes, that is 11, that is the right-hand side, so we're all good. Okay, let's have a look at the next example and see what we would multiply everything by. Here we've got 3 denominators that we need to consider. We've got 8, 6 and 12. Now, if you ever get really stuck, you could use 48, for example, but then you will be dealing with bigger numbers than you need to. The number that will actually work here is 24. That's the smallest number that will work. So let's do that. Multiply every term by that lowest common multiple. That will guarantee that we can cancel out and no longer have any denominators. 8 goes into 8 once, 8 goes into 24 3 times. 6 goes into 6 once, 6 goes into 24 4 times. 12 goes into 12 once, 12 goes into 24 twice. Now we're ready to work this out. We've got 3 times 3x, which is 9x, minus our 4x, equals 2 times negative 5, which is negative 10. So 5x is negative 10. So x is negative 10 divided by 5. So x is negative 2. Again, we should check that we have done it correctly. Let's work out the left-hand side. So 3 times negative 2 on 8 minus negative 2 on 6. Now this one is a little bit harder to check, but you're going to get negative 6 on 8, which is negative 3/4, plus a third. And if you work that out in twelfths, you get negative 9 twelfths plus 4 twelfths, which, yes, is our right-hand side. So we're all good there. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so we're up to some more examples. Let's have a look here. Again, we're aiming to multiply every term by the lowest common multiple. We've got 3 and we've got 2. If we multiply every term by 6, here it's important that we pop our brackets in, because otherwise we might forget to do our expansion step. So you need to be a little bit careful there. When we do our cancelling, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 6 3 times. Now I'm actually going to write an extra step down here to ensure that we do our expansion correctly. So we've got 2 lots of 4x minus 1 plus 3 lots of 5x plus 5 equals our 36. Now we're going to do our distributive law. 2 times 4x is 8x. 2 times -1 is -2. 3 times 5x is 15x. 3 times 5 is 15. And that's our 36. Let's gather up like terms. Got 8 x's plus 15 more x's. How many x's do we have? We have 23 x's. And then our number parts, we've got -2 plus 15, which is plus 13. Then we're going to get rid of 13 from both sides by subtracting it. So 23x is 23. So x obviously is 23 divided by 23. So x is 1. Let's do our little check, as we should do. So our little check, put it back into the very original equation that we had. So we've got 4 times 1 minus 1 on 3 plus 5 times 1 plus 5 on 2. Let's see what that is. 4 minus 1 is 3, on 3 is 1, plus 5 plus 5 is 10, divided by 2 is 2. Is 5. Silly me. So that's 6, which is correct. It is our right-hand side. Sorry, momentary brain freeze there for a minute. All right, next one. What are we going to multiply by here? Now, we could multiply by 24. That would be okay. However, you're going to then be dealing with bigger numbers than you need to deal with. I recommend that you multiply every term through by 12 to make your life as easy as possible. Don't forget your brackets. Okay, cancelling. 6 goes into 6 once, 6 goes into 12 twice. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 12 3 times. Now let's write it down with our brackets so that we don't mess up our expansion. So now we're going to expand and collect like terms, etc. 2 times 5x is 10x minus 18 plus 3 times 3x is 9x minus our 3. Collecting our like terms, we've got 10 x's and 9 more x's is 19x, minus our 21 is 36. So 19x is 36 plus 21. 19x is 57. X is going to be 57 divided by 19, which is 3. You're not expected to know that in your head, by the way. You can use a calculator to help you. Okay, let's do our check. Again, let's just see what our left-hand side would be, because that's the only side that had any x's in it. So 5 times 3 minus 9 on 6 plus 3 times 3 minus 1 on 4. What does that equal? So that's 15 minus 9, which is 6 on 6, plus 9 minus 4, which is 8 on 4. So that's 1 plus 2, which is 3. Which, yes, is our right-hand side, so we're all good there. Okay, one more lot of examples to do. Okay, last lot of examples of this sort of question. Remember, the basic method that we use is that we're going to multiply everything through by the lowest common multiple of any of our denominators. So if we were to put them all over the one denominator, what would we use as our lowest common denominator? We've got 3 and 7 here. They're both prime numbers, so the smallest number that will work will be 3 times 7. Don't forget your brackets. We're going to multiply everything through by 21. All right, we're going to do some cancelling. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 21 7 times. 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 21 3 times. All right, let's write down our next step, all ready to expand. Now, just be careful here because we have a minus outside our brackets. We need to be careful because that minus comes with the 3 as a package deal. So when you expand, you get 7 times 2x, which is 14x, plus 7 times 4, which is 28, minus 3 times 5x, which is minus 15x, minus 3 times plus 6, which is minus 18. Gathering up our like terms, we've got 14x's minus 15x's. How many x's do we have? We've got minus x. 28 minus 18 is plus 10. To get the x, well, to get the minus x on its own, we're going to take 10 away from both sides. We're going to get negative x is 11. Remember, negative x is the same as negative 1 times x, so x is going to be 11 divided by negative 1, so x is negative 11. Again, do your check. I won't do that now. It'll take up too much time, but it does work. Right, last one for this video. What would we use? Well, we'd use 6, wouldn't we? So we're going to multiply every term by 6, do our cancelling, and then we're going to get our step ready for expansion. Just be careful here, we've got a negative and a negative. 3 times 3x is 9x, 3 times 6 is 18. Negative 2 times 8x is minus 16x. Goodness me. And negative 2 times negative 4 is plus 8. 9x minus 16x is negative 7x. 18 plus 8 is 26. We're going to take 26 away from both sides. We're going to end up with 28. We're going to divide both sides by negative 7. And we're going to get x as negative 4. And when you do check that, that does check out as correct.